Aarohi stared out the window. The Himalayas loomed large in the distance. They were beautiful, but cold, just like her new home. Her family had moved to Himalaya Nagar just a month ago. A fresh start, they had called it. It didn't feel very fresh to Aarohi. She missed her friends. She missed her old life. Here, she was just the new girl. School was the worst. The other kids gave her strange looks. They whispered about her in the hallways. No one tried to be her friend. Aarohi felt a lump in her throat. She just wanted to go home. But home didn't feel like home anymore. One day, Aarohi overheard some girls talking. They were gossiping about a haunted house. It was on the edge of town, hidden in the woods. The girls said a ghost lived there. They called her Maya. Maya had been accused of witchcraft. The townspeople had burned her alive. Aarohi shivered. The story sent chills down her spine. But there was something about it that drew her in. She had to know more. That night, Aarohi couldn't sleep. Maya's story played over and over in her mind. What if it was true? What if Maya was really there? The next day, Aarohi skipped school. She had to see the house for herself. She followed a winding path into the woods. The air grew colder. The trees seemed to press in around her. Finally, she saw it. The house stood at the end of the path. It was old and run down. The windows were boarded up. The paint was peeling. Aarohi hesitated. Fear gnawed at her, but curiosity was stronger. She took a deep breath and stepped forward. The door creaked open. The air inside was stale and dusty. Cobwebs hung from every corner. Aarohi stepped inside. The house was dark and silent. Shadows danced in the dim light that filtered through the cracks in the boarded-up windows. Aarohi's heart pounded in her chest. Suddenly she heard a noise. It was a soft sound like someone sighing. She froze, listening intently. The sound came again. This time it was closer. Aarohi turned slowly, her eyes scanning the shadows. "Who's there?"
Aarohi whispered. A figure emerged from the shadows. It was a young woman dressed in a flowing white gown. Her face was pale, her eyes filled with a deep sadness. Aarohi gasped. She knew instantly who it was.
"Don't be afraid. I won't hurt you." S1. Media. Ghostly woman with sad eyes looking reassuring, ghostly figure speaking softly. Maya.
Aarohi took a step back. She was scared, but she couldn't help but feel sorry for the ghost.
"Why are you here?"
Maya sighed.
"This was my home once, but the people of this town, they turned on me."
Aarohi listened intently as Maya told her story. She had been a healer, using herbs and natural remedies to cure the sick, but the townspeople had been afraid of her power. They called her a witch. One day, a sickness spread through the town. When the town healer couldn't cure it, they blamed Maya. They accused her of poisoning the well.
"It wasn't true. I would never hurt anyone."
Maya whispered, her voice filled with pain. Aarohi believed her. She could see the truth in Maya's eyes.
The townspeople had dragged me to the town square. They had tied me to a stake and set me on fire. I died in agony, but the pain of their betrayal was even worse.
"It's not fair."
Aarohi felt a surge of anger towards the townspeople. How could they have been so cruel?
"It's not fair."
Aarohi whispered, her own eyes welling up with tears. Maya reached out a hand and gently touched Aarohi's cheek. Her touch sent a shiver down Aarohi's spine. But it wasn't an unpleasant feeling. It was a feeling of sadness, of longing.
"I've been trapped here ever since, unable to find peace."
"What can I do?"
She had to make things right. Aarohi asked. She had to help Maya.
"You can tell the truth. You can tell my story."
"I will. I won't let them forget what they did to you."
"Thank you. That is all I ask."
Maya smiled sadly. Aarohi stayed with Maya for a long time that day. They talked about their lives, their hopes, their fears. Aarohi learned that Maya had been a kind and gentle soul. She had loved to sing and dance. She had dreamed of traveling the world. As the sun began to set, Maya grew fainter.
"I must go, but please come back and visit me again."
"I will. I'll be back tomorrow."
Maya smiled one last time and then faded away into the shadows. Aarohi left the house and made her way back through the woods. The sun was setting, casting long shadows all around her. But Aarohi wasn't afraid anymore. She had made a friend today, and she had made a promise. She would clear Maya's name. She would tell the world the truth. She would make sure that Maya's story was never forgotten. Aarohi stepped out of the woods and into the fading light, a new determination in her heart. She wasn't just a lonely girl anymore. She was Maya's voice.